Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, April the 12th, 2019. Welcome to another eBay video. Today we're going to be discussing more about the PayPal changes, returns, and service metrics like we did in last week's video. And I want to spend a little more time than usual on your comments because a lot of you guys wrote in some really good comments and I think they need to be addressed. Before we get started, you will notice that once again I have kept my promise to you of another cloudy, rainy day. I am probably the only person on YouTube that can accurately predict his weather 1 week ahead of time, because it's all we get are cloudy, rainy days. It's not raining now, but it will be later, so let's get started before the raindrops start to fall. We're going to start out by talking about seller metrics. Marcin Biankowski wrote in 1,330 transactions, 35 return cases, peers were at 1.34% and we're high at 2.65%. 90% of it is baloney. We sell Mercedes used auto parts. Most people don't know all ECUs need to be reprogrammed in order to work, but we state that in the accurate description. Or they don't read the description about what color codes, opening cases for the item not as described when we provide all part numbers, VIN numbers, color codes, fitment, etc. We eat close to $1,000 in returns monthly because of the fitchy buyers. I'm very glad that he and other eBay Motors sellers wrote in this week. I'm glad to hear from you guys. And I also feel better knowing that you guys also get quite a lot of returns in eBay Motors. I had some interesting ones, but we'll get to them a little later if I have time. D. Kelly wrote, Joe, my service percent is 1.4% in eBay Motors. About half were legit. So it sounds like you're doing great. Thanks for doing the videos. Peace. Robert K. wrote, I agree. I think that offering eBay returns invites trouble. I don't use eBay returns, but have my own return policy. eBay puts seller doesn't accept returns under my title and it seems to get buyers' attention. I sell on eBay Motors used auto parts and buyers are mostly looking for a rare part. eBay changed returns to include frivolous reasons like change mind, found lower price elsewhere, or I just didn't like it. Since that day, I no longer do eBay returns. Now the one thing about those frivolous returns, at least the buyer has to pay the shipping back, not the seller. It's the SNAD returns, the unfast SNAD returns, that get me upset. 5797029 Mike wrote, my metrics for eBay Motors is currently 0.92% and projected for 1.36% for the next month. The reason used for returning the Suzuki grill was doesn't work, defective, does not fit. eBay did not automatically accept the return because it was beyond my 30-day return policy. According to eBay customer service, I did not have to accept it, but there could be consequences. I could receive a negative feedback or the buyer could open a case through PayPal. eBay would not be able to step in or help me if the buyer acted on one or both of those. P.S. The last day for the buyer to ship it back is today. Now let's talk briefly about that. Mike's 30-day window for accepting returns had passed. Yet, he accepted the return anyway to dodge a possible negative feedback. What do you guys do when your 30-day return window or your return window, whatever duration it is, passes? Do you accept the return? This happened to me. You may remember it happened to me last year. I had a guy that started that kind of thing. He asked for a return. He waited till, I guess it was around 35 days, or maybe even 45 days. I'm not even sure. But I know it was well past my return window, considering what he spent for the money, because it was a case of buyer remorse, and the amount that he would have to pay for shipping back, it would have equaled or outweighed any refund he would have gotten. That really bummed me out. Several people wrote in about PayPal and their new updated message for all of us that states they are no longer refunding any fees associated with transactions when a buyer cancels or when we give the buyer a refund. Craig B. wrote, some of my PayPal fees are over $50 per item on expensive phones. This is not good in a case of stupid buyer remorse. He also wrote, if PayPal keeps $50 of mine on expensive items for buyer remorse, I will file a complaint to the Better Business Bureau and would suggest all of you do that too. But Kloon Trooper wrote in a response to him and said, good luck. If you go through PayPal, you have to agree to their terms of service. Also on PayPal, Rubber Wilbur wrote, this regarding not being compensated on PayPal fees after cancellation infuriates me. This is one of the reasons eBay and PayPal unmerged so they could play crooked tricks like this to customers. Why isn't eBay forcing the buyers who weasel out of orders to pay these fees? Or why doesn't eBay pay for PayPal's fees since eBay wants to be so generous to our customers with our money? I don't know about you guys, but I get several cancellations right after orders having been placed because eBay immediately posts an ad to our competitor or a China seller with the same product at a lower price directly after. I tolerated this, but I draw the line now being punished 4% plus fees on cancellations I have zero responsibility in. No way would PayPal be able to get away with this trick when they were part of eBay. Here, this goes back to the China sellers once again, and eBay, for some reason, saturating the market or allowing the market to be saturated by China sellers. If you guys are members of some of the Facebook groups, I know you're hearing a lot of chatter about sellers being infuriated with these China sellers. I've come up with an idea that I think would work great, okay? And I'm passing this on to the people that matter, but I want to tell you guys this right now, okay? I think eBay should have a drop-down menu on the left side, and I've said this before, with simply 2 choices. 1, genuine name brand items. 2, reproductions. So if you, the buyer, are searching for something and you want a factory name brand item, you would simply click genuine name brand item. All right? Now, for those China sellers or those fishy sellers in general that want to try and violate the program and claim that their cheap China crap is legit, the first offense would be a 1-week eBay suspension. The second offense, they're banned from eBay forever. That's it. No fooling around. Okay? Everybody is being screwed by these cheap China reproductions that are being represented as genuine. We sellers are being screwed because we cannot compete with their prices because we're selling genuine name brand items. And the buyers are being screwed because they think they're being led to believe they're buying genuine name brand items and they're getting cheap China junk. So they get screwed on that transaction, plus they may have a bad taste in their mouth and not come back to eBay to do any more purchases. I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get why this change has not been implemented yet. I would like all your comments on that in the comment section below. What do you think of my idea? I mentioned this 2 years ago. There should be a drop-down menu on the left side when someone's doing a search, whether it's for a Gucci handbag, a Rolex watch, whatever. Genuine name brand article is choice 1. Choice 2 is a reproduction, or choice 3 could be both. But the 2 top ones would be predominant, genuine name brand or cheap reproduction. Okay? Is there anyone that can find a fallacy with that? I want to hear from you. Please, let's talk about this, because this has gone on too long. David Tompkins wrote in about a fishy seller. Sellers such as the fishy one you asked us to comment on should definitely be exposed. As you pointed out so clearly, this guy is creating unhappy customers who may leave eBay and never buy there again. What should also be pointed out is the bad-mouthing of eBay to whoever they know will negatively impact and affect any all legitimate sellers. So to be clear, yes, expose the guy. And this comment goes back to what I just talked about the China sellers misrepresenting their goods. I told you last week I had done a short cutaway about a particular China seller, and I asked you guys if you thought that I should put it in, and everybody basically said yes. So you will be seeing that video in the near future, but just not today. The Truth wrote, "Say no to free returns and promoted listings." I'm reading his comment because he received 13 thumbs up, so apparently quite a few of you guys agree with him. I myself do not accept free returns either, but I am in promoted listings at the bare minimum of 1%. I find it to be effective, and it helps me get listed in search twice, and my sales have been pretty good, with the exception of I had one day this week that was almost a complete shutout. What day was that? Monday. Almost the entire day Monday, the 24-hour period, I did not make a single sale, which is highly unusual for me. But I guess it's just the ebb and flow of e-commerce. Mike Tudor wrote in with a channel question. "Joe, what happened to your usual ending of your whiteboard falling over?" What happened is I forgot to put it in, and I didn't realize it until after the video was published. I do that now and then, but it'll be back on this video. Ken Van Tassel wrote, "I do free returns about 95%. It has not increased my return rate at all. Because I have top-rated seller status, I get 10% off final value fees with 30-day free returns, plus they can't give me negative feedback, plus I can deduct up to 50% on a fitchy return." What is Joe's username? I'm surprised he doesn't list it in the videos. Ken Van Tassel, two things. Number one, I'm eBay seller Hubcap Joe's. I've mentioned this many times over the years, and I'm a top-rated seller plus with 100% feedback. I have a question for you, Ken. You state that you can deduct 50% off on a fitchy return. Can you elaborate on what is a fitchy return? I asked this of somebody last week and I did not get an answer. Meaning, if you send somebody an item, they claim it's not as described, even though it is. They send it back to you in the exact same condition you sent it, and there's nothing wrong with it. Can you deduct something from that sale? That's my question. Do you have to give the person back the full money? Because that's not quite clear to me. So please address that if you would, or if anybody else knows the answer to that question. And the last comment I'm going to read today is from Mr. Muffin the Gamer. "Hey Joe, I made my first eBay sale. I'm so proud. Congratulations, good sir. Glad to have you on the team selling on eBay. Keep it up and make a lot more sales." Wooden Stuff with Steve French wrote, "Man, I love that outro. That is some sound advice right there." Well, I'm glad you love it, Wooden Stuff with Steve French, because you're going to hear it again later today and subsequently forever. Let us now stop and take our first drink from the Fox News Cup of Life. This is the Fox News Cup of Life. Happy is he who drinks from it. Very good. Very, very good. Last night we had our monthly eBay get-together, our social, and Brian Burke, as well as Doug Smith, both from San Jose, came out to address our group and talk with us. And after our little meeting, we all went out to eat to a nice Italian restaurant that we go to periodically, and we all had a good time, very good time. I would like to now introduce Brian Burke. All right, guys, it's Thursday night for our monthly eBay meetup here in New York City, and Brian Burke has come all the way out from San Jose, California to talk to you guys. I'm going to turn the floor over to Brian Burke.
Thanks, Joe. First off, great being in New York. I love coming here. Prior to New York, we were in Connecticut and Massachusetts at meetups, love coming out and meeting sellers face to face, in person, get great suggestions, great ideas. And so if you guys have some out there, send them to me, bburke@ebay.com. And then also great resources for you, Selling on eBay podcast. Every Tuesday morning, we've got a podcast that Griff hosts. And we always have sellers out on it, as well as eBay staff members. Most recently, our Chief Operating Officer, Jay Hansen, was on. Come out and join us on the weekly chat every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, so 4 p.m. here on the East Coast. And you can meet with customer support reps as well as eBay community staff. And hope to see you in the eBay community or at a meetup sometime soon. Thanks, Joe.
I always watch the eBay podcast on Wednesday.
Yeah,
3:30.
that's right. The podcast or the Facebook Live, the eBay for Business Facebook Live that Audrey leads as well.
Correct. And there's a little YouTube channel called Crazy NY Driver.
There is, and I think I'm standing near him.
Yes, I'm as crazy as they get, and every Friday, new eBay material.
Great.
To teach people how to sell on eBay and hopefully be successful.
And I would say this is a great example. Joe's a great example of a resource, as well as going to a meetup. You meet people like Joe, and then you know that they also have additional information and resources that they provide you all the time. So listen.
eBay has paid a lot of my bills, and I'm not bashful about saying it.
Great. I love it.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Joe.
Next time I see you, we'll be on the West Coast.
Yes, we'll be in Vegas.
In July.
Yes.
And
Hot
it's sold
weather.
out, right?
It's sold out as of today.
So, guys, if you didn't get your ticket, don't blame me.
But if you didn't get your ticket, there's one other way to go, and that's to become a Shine Award finalist. And you can go out to the eBay Open registration page and submit a Shine application, and perhaps you'll be one of the finalists, and you'll get there for free.
Excellent news, Brian.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks for being on.
My pleasure.
Okay, rock on.
Great.
How was your eBay week? Did anything weird happen to you? I myself had several returns, again, as always. That's nothing new. I recently listed, as always, some alloy wheel center caps. And what I'm doing in many cases is I'm also including a picture of the particular wheel that these caps fit to help the buyer, because I know none of them are going to read the description. So I get this guy that made a purchase from me, gets the item, and says it doesn't fit correctly. And he sends me a picture of his wheel with the cap on it. But the wheel he sent me is not the correct wheel that the cap fits. I said to him, "Sir, didn't you read my listing and didn't you even look at the pictures?" I said, "The third picture shows the wheel that my cap fits and clearly states this is the only wheel this cap fits." All the trouble I go through in eBay Motors to list all the compatibility features, the part number, even to the extent of listing pictures of a particular alloy wheel, and these people still just don't get it. I'm flabbergasted. I had another guy, I'm not sure if I told you this last week or not, he bought some items from me, got them, loved them, and left me positive feedback. A few days later, he writes to me and says, "Can I return these? They won't fit." So I wrote back to him and said, "Sir, I do take returns for 30 days, no matter what the reason. But I got to tell you, I'm really disappointed. I went through a lot of trouble to list every wheel these fit, with part numbers, specifications. Did you even go outside and check your wheel size?" And he wrote back to me and was very frank and said, "No, it's totally my mistake. I did not go out and check. I just took a chance." So then he wrote back the next day and he said, "You know, Joe, I'm going to keep these for a future project that I might need them for," which I thought was weird. All right, right away, that rang off an alarm bell. I said, I've never had anybody say that to me in my life on eBay. Sure enough, another week goes by, he files a return request. But he paid the shipping back, and of course I did not give him the original shipping back. That's not going to happen. So I've relisted them, and we'll see what happens. But that's kind of an unusual return. Luckily, as I've said many, many times, 99% of my customers are honest, good people who admit they bought the wrong size. Over the years, I haven't had many snag cases opened at all. Recently, as with many of you guys, I have noticed a marked increase in fishy returns. People filing snag cases when the item is not in fact snag cases. And the way the system is designed right now, the eBay representatives are not empowered to act on my behalf, which is sad. Hopefully that'll change in the future. I'm lobbying for that. You know me, guys. You know I'm looking out for your best interest. I'm an eBay seller too. I love eBay. I suggest everybody, well, almost everybody, sell on eBay. But if I find a policy that I don't think is fair to sellers, I'm going to speak up about it, and you can take that to the bank. That being said, I'm going to bring this video to a close right now. Thank you for watching. Guys, I'm Crazy New York Driver, and you're not. I come out here each week to make these videos and help you be successful on eBay. If you think I'm doing a good job, please leave me a thumbs up. It tells me I'm on the right track and appreciate it. If you don't think I did a good job today, tell me in the comments section what you want me to hit up next week, and I'll be glad to do it for you. Remember, I am a seller friend, not a seller critic or skeptic of any kind. I'm still making money online. I've solved a lot of problems, and I've never worn a mask. That being said, I want you guys to go out there, and I hope you make a lot of money on eBay. I really hope you do, and I hope you have a lot better weather than us, because we have clouds every single day. Unbelievable. Guys, you know what you got to do now? I want you to go out there, rock on, and peace! Yeah! At this point, I'm going to once again stop and take my second drink from the Fox News Cup O Life, because the video is not quite over yet. Once again, this is the Fox News Cup O Life. Happy is he who drinks from it. This is my second and final drink from the much revered Fox News Cup O Life. At this time, I would ask any viewers who are wearing headsets to please remove them, because I'm going to yell. I'm going to bring this video to a close. Anybody who's been watching my videos for some time know that I never insist, I never tell you guys to do anything. You're free to make up your own mind, with the exception of one thing. There is one thing I will insist on, guys, and that is this. Don't be fishy! Yeah!